There should be a test to be president because you have to pass a test to get into college. You have to pass a test to fly a plane. You have to pass a test to drive a car. Don't you think you should have to pass a test to drive the government? Day one. Day one for the president is wake up in the morning, take 2 Xanax and a Valium, and look around and say, oh my God, I'm the president. When we wrote the book, we thought it would be nice to have a book that addressed the issues of how you really govern, which are very serious issues, in a humorous way. Because the only thing that I think you have in common between really campaign and government is that you have to maintain your sense of humor in order to survive either of those.
Together.
Writing a book at long distances turned out to be a wonderful experience because we didn't get in each other's way. Clay was in Key West and I was in Washington, and we just emailed each other questions back and forth for 6 months. And actually, it was not our intention to write a book. It was our intention to entertain one another. So the book is, although we wrote it to entertain one another, it's pretty entertaining for anybody that reads it. And then we got creative with definitions and factoids, and it's a very substantial book, but very funny. I kind of think that anybody who wants to be president shouldn't be allowed to be president unless they have a really good reason, like they love motorcades, or they want a private plane, or perhaps they want their own chef. Beyond that, and that's kind of in the category of it's nice to be king as opposed to president. Other than that, I don't know why you would want to be president. And the briefing book looks kind of like this book, only maybe 8 or 9 times the size. You can see here that we just have, this is our book, so you think you can be president. And you can see the size of it. And that's only 200 questions. The president's briefing book goes on for, I don't know, maybe 1,000 pages, maybe more. So that's what you have to know. That's what you have to be prepared to know. Because the book is really about facts and issues and personal questions that, you see it in the campaigns now. What did Barack Obama do in kindergarten? And what did Hillary do in law school? And, was she a good waitress? And did he love his dad? And does he have brothers and sisters? And does she have brothers and sisters? And what are they like? And are they apt to be an issue in some publication at some point that they have to address? And then that's a distraction from governing. Sometimes problems that people have with their past really distracts from their governing, even though it may not have anything to do with their ability to govern. My favorite job in politics was when I was the director of security for the 1980 Democratic Convention in New York City. I remain the first and only woman ever to have directed security for a convention. It was my favorite job for a lot of reasons. First of all, it was very interesting. Second of all, it was me and 16,000 guys. And that kind of eliminates the need for online dating or even making phone calls. It's just you and 16,000 guys. On a serious note, no, there is no serious note. That was my favorite job. Here's an interesting thing. The books won't be out until April, but we got a few advance copies. So I asked my husband to take one and give it to Obama because he was covering Obama for People magazine. And so he took it and he delivered it. And Obama felt sure at that point that he could pass the test. And in no small way, I credit this book with Obama's surprising victory in so many states. I think that the book gives you real insight into the depth and the scope of the kinds of things that the President of the United States needs to know. It is an overwhelming job. There's no one person that can do it. So when you look at a candidate and you think about somebody who's running for president, you need to go beyond that person. And you need to say, okay, who are the people that are surrounding them? You can take the George Bush approach to filling the government and just say, okay, everyone who ever was born in Texas, lived in Texas, had a friend in Texas, or wants to go back to Texas can be in my government and you can have a job. Or you can actually look at people who are competent and qualified and delegate whatever the job is to those people. You have your choice. You know, when you're the president, you can pretty much do what you want. I mean, you can make the people who gave you the most money. You can put those people in charge of your government. That's not always a good idea. You know, you can put people who only worked in your campaign in charge of the government. There has to be some kind of an acknowledgement that it takes a lot of different people to run a good government, and the government should look like America.